Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, so we're going to talk about a House bill that would incentivize home selling in an effort to boost supply. So apparently, the government has decided they're here to help us. Now, we're not going to bash the government. We would never, ever bash the government. However, Juana, let's talk about, without talking about the specifics of the bill, because I don't even know if it's still active, if it got killed already. But this is how sometimes when government tries to do incentives, it doesn't work the way they want it to.
Right. So as Jordan Peterson says, be careful what you do. Try to do as little as possible because of unintended consequences, right? And the government tends to have a sledgehammer approach, which leads to a lot of unintended consequences. So in this particular case, the government is saying, hey, look, right now, if you sell your primary residence, you get this pot of money that is tax-free. It's like
$250 and $500.
Right. So it's $250,000 for an individual, $500,000 for a couple. Right?
And there's rules to that.
Right.
You have to live in it for 2 years of 2 of the last 5, yada yada.
Right.
Not tax advice. Talk to a tax accountant.
Right. So the bottom line is that there are rules to it, but it's designed for owner occupants who have lived in the house for some time. Okay. So now what the government is saying, hey, you know what? We're going to solve the whole inventory problem. We've got this. So they're saying, okay, we're going to change that 250 to some other greater number, be it 500,000 or whatever happy number they have. So instead of 250 a person, now we're going to do 500,000 a person. So 2 people together would be $1 million.
$1 million.
So now you could take that, you could sell that house that you bought for $500,000 and sell it for $1.5 million, tax-free. Life is grand. So what do you do when that happens? Well, you can go out and buy a bigger, better house, and some people do. Or you can go out and say, hey, I've got this money in my pocket. I've always wanted to live out on a lake someplace in Michigan or someplace like that that's got a lower cost of living. And I'm going to take the rest of the money and I'm going to buy 2 or 3 houses and maybe more. And I am going to get some rental income out of those. I'll have some mortgage payments, but it'll be okay. And those are tax deductible. And it'll be great because now I'll have the source of income. And this is fantastic. Now, for the person doing that, that's great. But what does that do? That absorbs a lot more inventory. So when you sell that one house for that $1.5 million and pocket that $1 million in profit, you can go out and buy multiple homes, but that takes multiple homes out of the market for other individuals to purchase.
Unintended consequence.
So all of a sudden, their desire was to increase inventory. Does that increase inventory for regular people to buy homes? Not so much.
Okay, the More Homes on the Market Act unveiled in March by Reps Jimmy Panetta and Mike Kelly would amend the tax code to incentivize more homeowners to sell their houses, increasing the supply of homes available on the market. So there's this first of all, there's this false belief that the reason people aren't selling is they don't want to pay the tax. And that's not necessarily true because if it's time to go or if you want to move, the tax is generally not the thing stopping you. But here's the big problem with this whole thing. You already have these people who, and I know there's some of you who watch this video because you put it in the comments that you do this. You'll buy a rental house and you rent it out. And then then after 4 or 5 years, you'll sell your residence. You'll keep the proceeds from it tax-free. And you'll move into your rental. Mm-hmm. You'll live in it for 2 years. You'll sell that, and you'll just keep rolling this. So basically what you're doing is, if you're not really particular about the houses you live in, or if you're buying houses you would live in anyway, you're rolling these houses. The problem is, every time you do that, you sell a house. This actually disincentivizes you from doing that. Because once you pass the limit now, you're like, oh, I can keep the house because now I can go to $1 million or I can go to 500,000 before I have to sell it to avoid or to limit my taxes. So right. It's literally could create the opposite thing from happening.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, we think this is really interesting.
I got one more thing.
Oh, okay.
It's actually just the thing that we talked about in the beginning. The bill would increase the sales gain tax exclusion from $500 to $1 million, from $500 to $500 $1 million for single and joint it's 200, 500 now. Here's the thing, Juana. What about if they did this with investment properties and they made a limited time frame? Like they said this, okay, if you'll sell your house in the next 12 months, we'll give you this limit. If you do it in the 12 months after that, we're going to knock the limit back to 750, 300, and then in 2 years it goes back to the thing, and try to spur people to sell just to take the money out of their house.
Again, I don't think it. I think it would take more houses off the market than put on the market. I mean, I've already said that, because that's what I would do. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. I mean, yes, there are lots of people out there who will take the money and go buy something else that is grand and wonderful and in an exotic location, and that's wonderful and good on you. You know, that's perfect. But there are those of us like me that would say, maybe not. Maybe it's an opportunity for me to increase my nest egg as far as my retirement, maybe get some cash flow, you know, just a different way of thinking about it.
If I had inherited a house and it found out it was worth $1.5 million and I was subject to some kind of taxes on it, I would sell the thing tax-free, keep all the profit, and then go buy $300,000-$500,000 houses and just do better with cash flow. And I think you're right, Juana. I think it would. I don't think this is going to help the problem, even though it benefits our clients, it benefits us. I don't know who these guys are. They obviously, just because you name the bill to put more houses on the market bill, doesn't mean it's going to necessarily do that. And government does this all the time, guys, right? That you get a tax deduction for your stuff, you get the exclusion, when you sell the house. They do all these things to help you. Your taxes, your property taxes, you don't have to pay.
Okay, so let's kind of clarify something. Government's intention is never to help you. It is simply to incentivize you, manipulate you to do something that government is trying to get you to do. Okay. Government picks winners and losers. So we know that.
Okay, you're from Romania.
Yes.
And that's what they did in Romania.
Well,
they do it here, but we're not allowed to say it because then YouTube gets mad at us and it deranks our videos.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
There we go.
You can keep going now.
Okay.
You went all Romanian on our people.
No, but I mean that's just the reality of it.
Okay.
So anyway, what's your opinion on it? If you sold your house and got, all this money, where would you move? Would you even sell it? Would you just hang on to it? Those are all interesting questions. We would like to grow the channel, so please subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell us where you're watching from. Share the video because your recommendations mean a lot to others. Please leave us notes. We like your notes and we try to respond to them. Please be nice to one another in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.